So we start again. Page 104, Tatiana. All that here seems has lovelier semblance there. It's a play on the word semblance. Semblance is a form. Semblance is a manifestation of form, but it is not the essence. So, all that is here, we see the form. That world of the subtle physical, you have that perfect form. But it is a form of loveliness. And as that is loveliness or beauty is essentially a principle of the divine in manifestation, that divine presence is always there. But we look at the semblance. We see shapes and forms. We don't, in this world, connect with the, you might say, inner purpose, the spiritual truth of things. It's just that we are swept away by the sheer beauty of manifestation, which is our way of sometimes our way of connecting with the perfect, with the divine. All that here seems has lovelier semblance there. Whatever our hearts conceive, our heads create, some high original beauty forfeiting, thence exiled here, consents to an earthly tinge. Whatever we can today, in our present state of conscious development, when we want to do something well, we give it a form. Idea also has a form. Thought has a form. Shape has a form. We want to do it as perfectly as possible. It is a form, but something of the original divine principle is lost. We cannot transmit consciousness so easily. Consciousness will manifest itself when the entire being becomes an expression of consciousness. So he starts here, in this world of the subtle physical, is the world of form. Some high original beauty forfeiting, because that world also is a creation of the divine. But since here, as for many artists and thinkers and musicians, and those of us who want to live beautifully, not well, but walk and talk and think and eat and move in a form of perfection, that is an expression of the divine play in manifestation. But something of the high original truth is lost because we focus on the form. You don't focus on the core behind the form. See, when you do something well, he was talking just now about somebody who's dancing. The movements and the expression is very beautiful. But if that person has at the same time the capacity to maintain a conscious contact with that world of beauty, original beauty, then it becomes a divine expression. Otherwise, it is not on the highest level. It's very rarely on the highest level because we focus on the outer expression. We have to start somewhere, we start with the outside. But as he says, some high original beauty, original in the sense from the origin, the beauty that has projected itself into play from the supreme origin, that we often forfeit. To forfeit is to, you don't have the claim, you can't lay claim to that, you can't expect that to manifest itself straight away. That's one of the problems of those who do things well. When you do something very well, you make, say, a picture, a painting. Your concentration is how to make it, do it as well as possible. It is possible also at the same time that you forget the divine, because your focus is on the form. You make it as well as possible, as beautifully as possible, like these girls who are doing beautiful embroidery. And something of the consciousness is almost in spite of them expressing itself. But if they could, I don't know how they are within themselves, they could transmit the conscious connection with the divine, with the devotion, with the sense of self-giving, self-offering, when they are using their thread and needle, then it is an expression of the divine. That is the expression of Saraswati. That is the mother of perfection. That is very rare, it's exceptional. Because our whole attention goes in how to do it, how well to do it, how perfectly to do it, flawlessly you do something. At the same time, to stay in touch with your soul, it can come only at a later stage of the yogic development. So some high original beauty will be forfeited for a very long time. Thence exiled, here consents to an earthly tinge. Thence is from that high origin. These forms come down here. It's as if there is a world of beautiful forms. They are so wrapped up in their idea of external beauty that they are exiled from that world, like goddesses, like beings. So they come here. These are apsaras or beings of the middle world. They manifest themselves exiled from heaven. Heaven, if you say heaven, it is a state where one is one with the divine supreme source. One is united with that. That doesn't take place so easily in the world of manifestation, in the world of progressive evolution. This is a stage. This is a progressive stage. So at a certain stage, this is what happens. So they consent to wear an earthly form. It is as if in their origin they don't need an earthly form. In their essence, they are formless. They are formless because they are simply concentration of consciousness. That perfection. That is how, for instance, he describes Ahana. At the end of the poem, the seekers of love and joy address her as form of the formless, all beautiful. She's a form of the formless. That is a state which transcends naturally the world of duality, of opposition, of mind, of life, of matter. Takes us back to the origin. She is the Supreme Mother. And how many of us can stay in touch with that? So it is this that should be slowly, progressively expressed in our lives. It is not what we do, as the Mother repeatedly tells us. Of course it matters what we do. It matters also how we do it. In what state of consciousness we are when we do it. Can we stay in touch with that origin? And especially if you are good at what you are doing, you focus on the action, on the movement, on the expression, on the speech, on the sound. To stay connected with that origin is one of the forms of the highest yoga. So that is why you lose in the expression, something is lost. Something of that consciousness is lost, mostly. Whatever is here of visible charm and grace finds there its faultless and immortal lines. So these two parallel worlds, whatever is beautiful here. And beauty is charm. Charm literally is essentially inexplicable. It is magic. It's a play of these principles of grace. It's a gift of the divine. Where there is harmony, there is a magical expression of perfection. Whatever comes here from that world, if you go back to the origin from where it comes, it's faultless and immortal lines. It is no wonder that the world of expression in our Indian mythology, one associated with Saraswati. She goddess of form, manifestation. She is an expression of the original creator of the Brahma. She carries the lotus in one hand. Lotus symbolizes consciousness. That is what we very often lose because we are so swept away, obsessed by doing something well. We have to do it well, but we have to stay in touch with, at the same time, with the source. We have forfeited that right to say, I am an embodiment, I am an expression of the divine. I may be an artist, I may be a musician, but I am focusing on how well I sing or how well I paint, and not that the divine is expressing itself through me. I'm a medium. That is when the ego of the artist is completely wiped off. As long as you have an ego, and you have it for a very long time, it cannot be transmitted. It's a block. So, whatever is here of visible charm and grace finds there its faultless and immortal lines. All that is beautiful here is there divine. So that is the whole secret of beauty. In that world, the world of the subtle matter, there are no flaws, because there is no resistance. It's a world of subtle matter, it's not inert matter. So the transmission of consciousness is without any hindrance. In us there is resistance. Even if we can relate with the divine, it has to pass through our being. And our being is still made up of so many elements, so much that is undivine, so much that is a hindrance to the divine. So it is not a perfect expression for a very long time. Figures are there, undreamed by mortal mind, there in that higher world of the subtle matter. Bodies that have no earthly counterpart. It's not a human form. Mother speaks sometimes of this world of form, which we associate, for instance, a body is a very beautiful human body. Perfect, flawless, absolutely it's marvelous. But there is no counterpart in that world. It is not exactly an improved copy of the human form. It's a different form. And that is what, to some extent, I believe, and Sri Aurobindo is discussing the different forms of art in the field of the Indian art. Often it is not a copy of the outer form. You don't have a being with 8 hands or 4 heads. It's not a reflection of the outer form. It is a projection of some state of being. Whereas in the idealized realism, which is the high essence of Western classical art, it's idealized realism. You have marvelous forms, shapes, which are perfect proportion, perfect harmony. It's beautifully shaped, but it is a replica on a higher plane of the earthly form. So when she speaks of in her later talks of the supramental body, we shouldn't expect to see bodies where there is human forms which is transmitting light, free of inconscience and free of darkness. It doesn't have to be a replica of our human state. It's another state, of which we have no conception. We are not part of that world yet. Our consciousness doesn't extend that far, so we cannot really say, Mother has said this, Mother has said that. Mother is speaking from experience, that experience I have not had. So when I speak, I will naturally put my interpretation of what she has said, and some distortion will happen. Inevitably, some distortion takes place. So, figures are there, undreamed by mortal mind. Bodies that have no earthly counterpart traverse the inner eye's illumined trance. You see these worlds not with the eye of the physical body. You see with the eye of your spirit. Behind our eyes there is a spirit which has a certain consciousness, which is a projection of our soul. If you can see things with the eyes of the spirit, they are not, it's not a photographic replication of the external world. It's an experience of the inner world. So these figures come as inspirations, sometimes to some seers, some creators, and it is in the world of great art he's talking of. So this eye, the inner eye, has to be in a state of trance. Outwardly, trance is a state of sleep, meditation, your eyes are closed. You're not seeing the outer world. Usually when we see the world from the outside, we are outside what we are seeing. We are reflecting to some extent the objects that are around us. If we close our eyes and we can connect ourselves with our inmost state, we live those things from any other plane altogether. That trance is a withdrawal not into sleep, but into a deeper state of quiet consciousness. In that state, one can identify oneself with what one experiences. Otherwise, usually we are outside the experience. I see something, I hear something. I'm not that thing, but I can relate to it, I can enjoy it, I can appreciate it, or I criticize it, or I analyze it according to what I feel. But to be able to say, I am that. I see it, but I am that. I don't hear it. I'm going through it. I can feel it. That is a different matter altogether. So bodies that have no earthly counterpart traverse the inner eye's illumined trance and ravish the heart with their celestial tread. Ravish is absolutely as if you're swept away. The literal meaning of ravish is to kidnap, to sweep away. So you're completely carried away, swept away by something that is beyond your understanding. A love, a joy, a beauty, a power that is beyond your normal capacity to express itself. Persuading heaven to inhabit that wondrous sphere. So bodies persuading heaven to inhabit, as if above this world there is heaven. Heaven is the world of the absolute light. That projection manifests itself into form. Sometimes you have a person, an inspired person, in any form of art, says, heaven comes down to us in the form of a perfect sound, a perfect form. You relate with the divine through that. Otherwise you have to persuade heaven. Heaven stays far away. This world is not ready for me. These worlds are not yet capable of containing that absolute light. The future's marvels wander in its gulfs. It's a wonderful line. The future is already there. Because in the play of progressive manifestation, this manifestation is moving towards that ultimate. That ultimate perfection is waiting to be expressed. What is our human ultimate expression? The perfect human being. In what way is he different from a god? He isn't. The future of man is to be a divine being. That divine being is waiting to be accepted by us. We always make a difference between I am human, I am not divine. We accept our, you might say, flaws, deficiencies, weaknesses. So I cannot transmit that divinity because I am not perfect, I am not pure, I am not capable of containing or manifesting the truth. When that I has gone, when that small sense of resistance is gone, I am one with that, only that, then I can become an embodiment of the truth. That is waiting. That is the future of man. The divine body is one of the things that Sri Aurobindo wrote last. Ultimately, what are we supposed to be? Manifestations of divinity in matter. In the world of matter, body is matter, but the subtle matter, where in the body there is no sense of hard, opposing resistance and inertia. That is the problem. The body does not transmit consciousness because it is attached to its weaknesses, its imperfections. But when each cell of the body, this is a supramental yoga, each cell of the body becomes an expression of consciousness, of divinity, of consciousness, then this human body is a manifestation of a divine plan, of perfection. So the future's marvels wander in its gulfs. See how much he packs in one sentence, the whole ultimate destiny of earth, the destiny of the world of manifestation of man and form and world. So that gap between earth and heaven is not there. Between the divine and the human is not there. It is we who have really built it and we are attached to this. We are tied to our weaknesses. It's waiting, it's wandering. Things old and new are fashioned in those depths, the past and the future. Because the past is the starting point of the journey, the future is the final fulfillment of the journey. It's the same journey. Why do we divide? When we speak of the beginning of manifestation, or you speak of the, say, man who was probably some form of an ape man according to some, that ape man was actually the ancestor of the divine manifestation. It's working out of the plan progressively. That's what it was. Which is perhaps why, perhaps, the notion of the 10 avatars, starting with the fish and ending with the supreme manifestation. It's the same God, it's the same consciousness, working in different fields of manifestation, stage by stage, stage by stage. What is manifesting? The divine. What is growing? His consciousness. Who are we? Expressions of his consciousness, but we are midway on the journey. Sometimes we are laggards on the way, as she says. We stay back, we fall back, we go back to the past again and again. So things old of the past, that which indicated the starting point of the adventure of consciousness, of the journey towards perfection, and new, that which has not yet manifested or will or is beginning to just now. Sometimes some sparks of that are felt or experienced by a fortunate few. Sometimes you realize, sometimes you see, like some of us had the very good fortune of seeing that golden light emanating from the body of the Lord on the 5th of January. It was not a human, it was not an earthly light. It was inexplicable by the explanations of reason. It was another light which stayed for 4 days. And the body did not change, the body did not deteriorate. So it was as if a container of a light that has descended. So that world from the higher plane has accepted matter as a vessel. And that body, that material body, was so splendid, so beautiful, so illogical in a way. When we tried to explain, the doctors tried to explain, how can this be that the body does not deteriorate? 4 days have gone by. It's the same. That is to say that the world of spirit and matter are not opposed to one another. The world of matter is the vessel of the spirit, but matter refuses to be a willing vessel. It has its own laws and rules and obstructions, so the spirit cannot be easily transmitted. So they are waiting, these forms of perfection. So in that magic kingdom, things old and new are fashioned in those depths. A carnival of beauty crowds the heights. The carnival of beauty is below, the carnival of beauty is above. Carnival is just a kind of a joyful celebration. It is not an organized, well-ordered manifestation. It's an outburst of wonder and magic. That kind of manifestation, it's a bursting out of a new mode of experience, of light, of truth, of joy. All the aspects of the divine, truth, power, joy, love, beauty, all of them expressing themselves in form. They are waiting. In that magic kingdom of ideal sight, if we know how to look at things, if we see with the inner eye, and the outer eye has to shut, that is the outer mind, the eye has behind it a mind. The mind has to shut down. The mind doubts. The mind disbelieves. The mind tries to explain according to its own rules and laws. All this has to be completely shut down. Silence the mind. Then one becomes transparent. Then we can see things as they are. In its antechambers of splendid privacy, matter and soul in conscious union meet. So it is nature and God, matter and soul. The interplay of these two planes in conscious union, it is perfectly the whole play of existence. We are children of matter, we are children of the spirit. Earth is our mother, the sky is our father. That's how the Vedas put it. We are sons of the earth by the body, we are sons of the sky by the body of the earth. Or even as the Greeks said, Uranus and Gaia. Uranus and earth and sky, both contribute to the expression of our true self. like lovers in a lonely secret place. That is a kind of a special romance, perhaps because this love will not be understood. This love will not be allowed by those very strict, right-thinking men. It's just like, why should people, lovers, meet secretly? Because somewhere they have been told this is not right, you should not do these things. We have to obey the laws of strict, narrow morality. And how much does the mind understand? Or how little? So in that deeper world unknown to the surface mind, the world of matter and the world of the spirit.
I wanted to ask why secret places?
Always secret because it's not seen by understood by reason. Always the deeper truths they are really guhya. They are secret. You have to go deep to enter into that inner truth. With the mind, we try to work out things on the surface, put things into different categories, organize them according to certain rules. All cultures have its own rules. Every civilization has its own laws. This is like this should be like this. Not just in the form, in behavior, in thought, in action. Everything has been well ordered. For a long time, this is what has kept man within a certain format. When you break out, you break that format. And that is really the sense of the true romance, which he has spoken of later in the book 11. Or in the earlier centuries, the word romance was something very different. It was a story of a long narrative poem. That was a romance, where the central protagonist had to make a journey facing difficulties, facing opposition at every step in order to win, in order to conquer, in order to triumph over whatever comes in the way of the advancing spirit. All oppositions, all enemies, and what will he win? That embodiment of beauty and perfection, often represented by a wonderfully beautiful person. So that has become really the root word. So you win that, you have to be deserved to win. You have to deserve that winning of that perfect, you might say, expression of love and beauty after you have overcome all the things that impede, that stop us, our thoughts, your acceptance of imperfection, your weaknesses. That is the whole journey that is waiting for us all the time. Everything, he's describing the world of subtle matter, no doubt, but he's describing the whole journey of consciousness at the same time. To break out of our acceptance or dependence on what is just accepted by the mind and say, this is beautiful, this is right, this is wrong, this you should do, this you should not do. You enter into another world where there is no judgment, where there is only a connection with the truth of the ultimate reality, that ultimate perfection. So, like lovers in a lonely secret place, in the clasp of a passion not yet unfortunate, when this love passes through this love or this connection with the divine perfection, has to be transmitted by the being who has not passed through that purification of the spirit. The Chitta Shuddhi is not yet done. So what we imbibe, what we transmit, what we express is colored by what we are. So the person who receives that inspiration, if he has not become purified, that inspiration passes through the being which is often impure. And that is why often it becomes unfortunate. That passion which becomes unfortunate. It is as if the genius who receives this vision, he breaks down under the pressure of something so perfect, so pure. His nature has not become perfect. He is not yet a vessel that is purified. He cannot transmit things as they are. The things are transmitted by him as he is. We transmit truth as according to what we are. So the vessel has to be as perfect as what comes down. If I receive the light, I have to be luminous first. I have to prepare myself to be a true, you might say, recipient of the light. Mother told us in the prayer, no, we have to be ready to receive that light in the student's prayer. The light is there and we are there to transmit it, but we have to be worthy of all that is given to us. Instead, we are not. We become, in a sense, we take things for granted. Mother will help, mother is there, so she will work through me, she will pass whatever inspiration she lets me have, she will let me manifest it. This is so
purification also
ungrateful, I say.
laissez-faire?
Huh?
Is it laissez-faire?
It is. It is really so bad. We are so ungrateful, so selfish. We will not take the trouble to do anything. She has to make us worthy. That is the yoga of the individual. He has to prepare himself. That is the hero warrior. Whom does he have to fight? Himself. The opponents are inside. The darkness, the ego, the ignorance, the acceptance, a permanent acceptance of weakness. I can't help it, I am like this. What to do? I am full of fear. What to do? I am like that. What to do? Fight it. It's slow, it's long, so what? It may take lives, so what? Time is very long. So they join in the clasp of a passion, not yet unfortunate. They join their strength and sweetness and delight, and mingling make the high and low worlds one. There is no difference between the high and the low, between the divine and the so-called undivine, which is matter. Matter is divine. Earth is divine. He is not only up above, he is also deep down within, below, around. Wherever you look, it's the same consciousness in different modes of manifestation. We stop there? It's quite late today.
Can you explain laissez-faire a little bit more? This is a term that I actually came here with, and you ended with it. Can you explain laissez-faire a little bit
Laissez-faire.
more? What exactly does it mean?
It's an unwillingness of the spirit, isn't it? I don't want to take the trouble.
Yeah.
Let things happen. She will make it happen. That is one of the worst possible experience. Mother has talked so much about it. It is a form of ungratefulness, of ego. If you want to change, you have to want to. Again and again you have to want to. You have to repeat this want over and over again. It's not going to happen in one time. You just let yourself go. You have to let yourself slide. You slide down and you expect to be pulled up all the time. You're not going to take the trouble. This is what often is our attitude, our relationship with her. Sorry?
I
Asking her where she
I
came
know it
across
was
the
a
word.
conversation with someone.
Laissez-faire.
Word, word.
It's a French word.
It's
It's a
French
phrase
word.
that's often used. You just allow things to happen. You don't
Mothers
do
used
anything.
it a lot in her conversations.
You don't step forward and say, I'm not going to let this happen.
Laissez-faire. What exactly does it mean? It means
Let it be. No?
It will happen by itself. You don't have to do anything.
laissez-faire attitude means you're not putting in the effort.
Nothing, no
to
effort
do
at
what
all.
needs to be done. It'll just happen. Somebody will do it.
And we have this, especially we who have this subconscious notion, I'm living in mother's house. This is her creation, ashram is her creation. I'm living as her child and she will do everything for me. Do I ask myself, can I really call myself her child if I am the way I am?
It's a laziness actually.
Do I deserve to call myself this? It is such a form of, I don't know, not even falsehood. It's hypocrisy. It is.
Insincerity.
It's very bad.
It's really bad.